Hi everybody, so it is that time again, DayZ Update. So I'm recording this on the 8th of May 2024 and I made the files last night on the 7th of May, well before 1.25 has gone live. At this point I don't know when 1.25 is going live. I'm assuming it's going to be next week sometime. And what I've done is I've updated all my boosted loot and my hardcore survival files as well, server files. Now remember, these are compatible with console and PC, and the ones we're looking at in this video are my survival files. So these are the hardcore ones. These are the ones that make DayZ harder. Okay, so in the link in the description below this video you'll see links to my GitHub repository where you can just click on code, download zip, extract the file to your local drive, and you can find them there. And you'll also find links to my mega repository just in case either or don't work. So if you know what to do with them, have at it, have the files. Just remember, don't install them before DayZ 1.25 goes live unless you're on PC and you're running an experimental server. Then you can have a play around with them and check them as well. And also, I would always recommend you check them before you upload them onto your server. So you want to use an XML validator and a JSON validator just to make sure I haven't made any mistakes. I have validated them myself, but there's always a chance they won't work. So what we do now is I'm just going to have a quick discussion about what the files do, and then a quick look at how you install them as well. If you're new to this and you're thinking, ooh, this sounds interesting, I fancy having a go. So what this was all about for me was creating a experience in DayZ where normally like the first hour was extended a lot longer. So for me, what I really enjoy in DayZ is that first hour when you spawn in and you haven't got any kit and you're running around trying to find a knife, trying to find a weapon, trying to find a bag, just trying to survive. You know, you've got to find something to eat, find something to drink, to get yourself sorted so then you can move on. So what these files do is they make that harder, they make that process continue for a long time, and really it doesn't stop. It's always hard to survive. So anyway, so what does it do? So the temperature is an average of 5 degrees colder throughout the year. So no matter what time your server is, so if you have your server set up for the summertime all the time, for example, it'll be 5 degrees colder. If it's the winter, it'll be 5 degrees colder. So what that means is you've got to find better clothing faster. There's half food and drink, so it's more difficult to find stuff just lying around. There's less weapons. There's half ammo, there's half mags. There's less of the loose ammo. There's less of the gun repair kits. So all this is, well, you might find a gun so you can go hunting, but the likelihood is that gun's going to break and you're not going to have a gun repair kit to fix it before it breaks, you know, especially if you use it against zombies. Car and truck batteries spawn flat with no power charge in them, and there's less of them. So if you want to get a car running or a truck, not only do you have to go and get all the bits for the car and the truck to get it running, so the battery, the radiator, all that sort of stuff, some fuel, but the battery will be flat, so you need to get a generator and some wires and connect them up to the battery and put some fuel in the generator and a spark plug to charge the battery up to put in the car. So that process is a lot longer. There's less fuel cans in generators, and the fuel can should spawn basically empty, as well as the generators. So you're going to have to find a fuel can, and then you're going to have to go to a petrol station. The map that you find, when you find the tourist map and you open it up, it's the paper type map, which means that even if you find a GPS and a compass, you won't be able to, it won't have the coordinates on there. There's a 60-second logout timer. So this means you can't just log out when you want to. Say you're in a dangerous situation. Say you're using this on a PvP server. If you get into a gunfight, it's much more difficult to combat log because your character is going to sit there for a minute. You really need to find somewhere safe to log out. Similarly, if you're being attacked by zombies, you can't just log out. You've got to find somewhere safe. Now, this is a bit of a question mark one. Animals spawn in urban areas. I'm not quite sure whether they do or not. So they spawn in normal places. They should spawn in urban areas. Might have done it wrong. So anyway, might not work. Less fruit, less can openers, less knives, less claymores, less matches, less whetstones, less hammers, less tents, less GPS, less battery chargers, blah, 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 blah. Now, half zombies as well. Because you might say, well, if you're trying to make it harder, I find the infected zombies more of an annoyance, really, than something that's an integral part of the game. Well, sorry, the infected zombies are an integral part of DayZ, but I prefer it when there's less of them. And because you've got less good kit, they become really annoying. If you find a half decent jacket, you would get attacked by a bunch of zombies, you kill them, but then your kit is ruined. So there's less zombies wandering around. It also means you can't farm the zombies like you normally would, kill a load and then find some food on them, because there's less of them. Hopefully, you see, at some point in the future, DayZ will implement some configs that we can use to change the behaviour of zombies in terms of how they work. So what I really would like to see, and so that we could do some console as well, is that we have a situation where we can say, actually, I want all of the zombies just to shamble around slowly, no runners at all, none of the running around zombies, but they can only be killed by headshots. So you could, you could slow the speed down of the zombies, but you've got to kill them by shooting them in the head. I know they're not zombies, they're infected, but bear with me on that. So that's kind of the idea. And also less dynamic gas artillery strikes. This is quite important if you're doing this on your own server, basically just for yourself or a few friends. What can happen is, if that is the case, you tend to find yourself getting hit by dynamic gas artillery strikes more often, because there's less people on the server to spread them out. More bear events as well, and a 12-hour server restart. So it's a more hardcore, more difficult situation. And generally the situations you tend to find yourself in is, you get yourself sorted, you've got yourself a gun, you've got yourself a backpack, you've got yourself some warm clothes, but you get into a few scraps with some zombies, and then your bag's ruined, so you've got to find another one. Or you go hunting and you shoot a deer, and you've got some food, but then your gun's ruined, so you need to find another gun. That's the whole idea. So it's the survival side gets extended. So if you're thinking, well, how do I install this, Rob? It's very easy. All you do is you go over to your Nitrado server. If you're on console, it'll be Nitrado, and you want to go to your general settings, and you want to scroll down, and you'll want to reset mission XML to default. So what you do is you'll tick that, you click save, and you'll restart your server. Now, this doesn't wipe everybody's progress or anything like that, or get rid of bases or anything. It just means that the files will then be reset to the latest vanilla files. And remember, the files that I'm showing you here are 1.25 compatible, so you should only be doing this after 1.25 has gone live. Once it's restarted, you untick that, and then you save. And then all you need to do is go to the file browser, and then the files that you see here, so all the bear territories ones and the animal territory ones go in the ENV folder. The CFG gameplay one goes in the main root flow folder of the mission, and the events, globals, messages and types go in the DB directory. So if we go, and I'll show you what that means. So it's DayZ PS for PlayStation, DayZ XB for Xbox, just missions. In fact, did I just go into I just went into the wrong place, didn't I? Sorry, PS missions for PlayStation, XB missions for Xbox, and just missions on PC. Chernarus if it's a Chernarus map, Enoch if it's a Livonia map. And so in this directory here, the main one, you go upload file, and that would be CFG gameplay. And then you would go into the ENV folder, and that's where you upload all the territories. So upload them to there. And the DB folder, or the DB directory, that's where you do the types. What did I say? Events, globals, messages and types all go in there. Once you've done that, restart your server, and the changes will start to take effect. Just bear in mind that if your server has been running with the vanilla files or modded files, the loot that has already spawned in will take quite a while to disappear and be replaced by the more damaged loot, the less loot that you have in my files. So there we go, DayZ Update 1.25. Remember, don't install these until DayZ 1.25 goes live. Hopefully you find this useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And of course, I'll see you again soon.